China. For 10 years, the Japs have spread across our land. For 2 or 3 years, we've aided China with the planes and bases of the 14th Air Force. Today, due to the present Japanese offensive from the south and north, this aid is now being canceled. Largest and most recent of our bases to be abandoned is Kweilin. Kweilin, capital of Guangxi province and center of South China's defenses, has Japanese forces from the north and south near the city threatening to split China in two. The inhabitants of Kweilin leave their homes in a mass evacuation. This latest Chinese debacle not only uproots thousands of men, women, and children, many of whom experienced previous evacuations, but in the words of Brigadier General Clinton D. Vincent, is the worst strategic defeat ever suffered by an American force. Sampans aid in the evacuation. Scores of evacuees, their households reduced to mere bundles, take the river route to Liuzhou, 80 miles away. At Kweilin's North Station, other refugees who've been given government evacuation tickets await railroad passage to Liuzhou. About 20,000 civilians jammed the station. Obtaining applications for evacuation tickets was no problem, but the fare of 30,000 Chinese dollars and the lack of rail facilities made train travel prohibitive for many evacuees. Beside occupying every inch of space inside and on top, passengers rode on boards fastened to rods under the cars. Although deprived of its principal Hunan coal supply, the railroad managed to keep steam up with both coal and wood. Kweilin is left behind. Ahead is Liuzhou, a 3 or 4 days trip that covers only 80 miles. Meanwhile, at the great airstrip with its 550 buildings at the base of high, craggy limestone hills, the 14th Air Force continues air operations to stall the advancing Japanese army. For this purpose, C-47s have brought in fragmentation bombs. Loading bombers for flights over Zhuangxian and the Hongyang and Lingling areas. Further strikes against the advancing enemy, American bombers will have to operate from bases farther to the west. Back at the main intersections of the city, Chinese built pillboxes for a last-ditch defense against the more than 40,000 Japs thrusting southwestward to Kweilin. Barbed wire entanglements block the approaches to the city from the north. Chinese soldiers take up positions at the outskirts of the city. Chinese engineers mine the areas of the expected Japanese approach. Mines are of Chinese manufacture. A German 30 caliber machine gun covers the mined area. The Jap column is within 45 miles of the city. Evacuating vital equipment by air transport. General Joseph W. Stilwell, after a brief visit to the scene of evacuation where he conferred with General Chennault, local U.S. and Chinese officers. Leaving Kweilin, its evacuation almost complete. Coolies aid in the demolition of the airstrip by planting 1,000-pound bombs along the runways. 22,000 pounds of bombs were detonated along the runways alone. Demolition work was in charge of Colonel Waldo Kennerson, builder of the great B-29 bases. Holes left by the bombs were 15 to 20 feet deep and about 30 feet in diameter. Kweilin Air Base on the last night of Allied occupation. Demolition crews placed a drum of gasoline in each of the 550 buildings, then fired incendiary bullets. Represented in the ruins is an investment of 700 million Chinese dollars, or 70 million US dollars. Among the buildings burned were 10 barracks, a mess hall, and a dispensary. Also destroyed by fire were large sections of the city itself. China's scorched earth greeting to the Japanese invaders. A demolished bridge, the largest wooden truss bridge in China. Kweilin awaits the enemy, burned, stripped, and unpeopled. Begun late May with the advance on Zhongsha, the Japanese offensive nears its objective. But beyond this area of desolation, the evacuated Allied forces continue to fight on.